Hello, Culture Matters podcast. I'm so excited to introduce you to our guest. Before I do that, here's a quote just for this episode. This is the power of gathering. It inspires us delightfully to be more hopeful, more joyful, more thoughtful. In a word, more alive. Alice Waters. You want to
Love
be
that.
alive? Get your butt over to episode 182, season 16. Our guest today has supported Culture Matters since the very beginning. It was just, I was a lone wolf without a pack. And then we met, and then I added one friend to my wolf pack. They're the founder of Wolf of Broad Street. Oh, I got to get better at my vocals. They have been connecting and inspiring, helping people for what seems like forever since I had the pleasure of, stumbling into the Philadelphia culture. Our guest today is a not only a culture guru, and I mean that, gathering people, bringing people together, connecting people, figuring out how to help people, serve people, but actually has the Wolf of Broad Street events and I believe branding and advisory organization that strategically partners with organizations to take their companies to the next level. So our guest today, Josh Buchter, is back. Thanks for coming
Hey.
back to the show, brother. I'm excited to get inside the mind of the wolf, the original wolf, not the other wolf, but the real wolf.
It's great to be here, Jay. It's a good day to be alive.
Yeah, I mean, like first I want you know, let's say someone's listening that's apprehensive to get people together because, for a couple years everything was virtual.
Yep.
Why does it matter for people to get together, physically to get together? Why is that valuable?
I think that belly to belly interaction is really what takes, friendships, relationships, business partnerships to the next level. It's very crucial. I mean, there's certain phases and legwork that could lead up to the in-person meeting or event, which is very important, but there's nothing that beats, being face to face with somebody, not having any questions on tone or body, or way text come through or anything like that. It's just the most authentic way to build relationships, and it's not going to get replaced by AI. So like it's a cool thing that's not going anywhere.
What do you tell the skeptics that are like, well, how do I quantify that?
I mean, the truth is in the proof. As long as you plan, promote, and execute the event, you'll be successful. Whether 5 people show up or 50 people show up, you got to start somewhere, and there's no better way to stay relevant and top of mind than hosting and promoting events, inviting people, whether or not they can come
Mm.
or not. They're going to be grateful for the invite, and it's just a nice touch point for just about any business developer.
How about the introvert that's listening? I'm an introvert. I don't do well in crowds.
Yep.
I get anxious. What if someone talks to me? Oh, do I have to talk to someone? What do I say?
Yep. Yep. Just prepare yourself a little bit, you know what I mean? Know your story, know who you are, what you do, where you're coming from, what you're trying to achieve, and don't worry about talking too much. The more you listen, the better. So have a curious mindset walking into the networking event, an open mindset, look to learn and add value to somebody before you ask for anything, and have an objective. Like, don't just go in there willy nilly, going to the bar, hanging on the wall, not knowing what you're doing. Have an objective going into there, whether it's to set, 2 coffee meetings as a follow up, or to invite them to your next event or open house or seminar, whatever it may be. Having those types of goals and objectives will help you to successfully navigate a networking event.
What are some of the attributes of the best clients you've worked with from yeah, attributes or things they exemplify?
I think consistency, organization, hustle, grit, um, having a good story, and having clear and aggressive goals. These are all things that the clients we align with have in common, and it ultimately helps us to help them, because if our clients don't have these attributes, it's going to be very hard for us to be effective in our job, which is basically to make them look like rock stars. They have to have a rock star mindset, or at least be, open to following our guidance on these things to really help to blow up your brand.
What does consistency look like to you?
Um, it's like going to the gym. If you go into the gym consistently, you get into a good groove. You have acceleration, you have momentum. But if you lose that consistency, even for a couple days, it's really hard to get that back. So if I see somebody is, consistently buzzing, at least looks at the top of their game, and is in people's, faces, there's not a blueprint. There's not a certain number of times you need to post per day, in my opinion. There's not, this, that, or third. It's really just being yourself and finding your own way to stay consistent toward your goals. And honestly, it's the saying, no steps backwards. So as long as you're not taking any steps backwards, you're inching forward every single day. Sometimes you're scoring and you're, leveling up quickly. It's like that's consistency to me. It's just momentum.
Hmm. How about the energy and going into 25 back there in Philly? Is it on an upward momentum or is it still kind of
I feel like it is on an upward momentum. I mean, we're coming off of, a crazy time with election day just the other day. I feel like it's a fresh start. I feel energized. The people I surround myself with are hopeful for the things to come. And, we've made it this far. We made it through multiple, recessions, downturns, high inflation rates, high mortgage rates. You know, we're still standing, and I think it can only get better from here. We had some reports of threats of looting in Center City just last night, but nothing came about. So that's a good thing. Like businesses boarded up, businesses were prepared.
wow?
There was
Oh,
a
really? Wow.
there was a lot of kids in the streets, but luckily, nothing serious happened. So that's good.
Is there a scenario where we're getting together too much in business
uh,
development?
I mean, as long as you're not wasting your time, as long as you're not spinning your wheels, I don't think there's a such thing as too much interaction. But you do have to be careful with your time. Being busy and being productive is two different things. So if you're just booking your calendar to stay busy and to fill time, that's not good. But having that right balance and being tactful and intentional about your time is very important. Sometimes less is more. You don't need to go to every single networking event, every single business card exchange. It's a good way to sharpen your tools and stay on top of your game and meet new people, but you also have to do the work, do what you say you do. I mean, you could talk a big game at networking events, but you have to actually put in the work and make that a real priority. But I'm also learning that it's not just good enough to do the job anymore. Say you're a realtor, you get the deal closed, your clients are happy, like that should be a given. You should know how to do your job. You should know how to get the deal closed. You should know how to provide good service because that's what you're hired to do. And just because you've been doing it for 20 years is not enough for you to, you know, continue on an upward path in your career. So it's very important to continue to meet new people, to continue to evolve and build on your story and your brand, and to continue to offer the best level of service possible, but also don't keep it a secret. Let the world know. Sometimes your biggest supporters are strangers.
Yeah. What's your view on brand, the importance of brand?
I think before the brand, it really starts with your story. My brand started off of a Instagram handle at Wolf of Broad Street. After seeing Wolf of Wall Street, after getting a finance degree, after idolizing the old Wall Street movie, and just being a Philly guy. My birthday's February 15th, the same area code as Philly 215. It was just kind of like my story led to the brand, which makes it easier for me to speak on that brand and how it came about from an Instagram handle to now an 8-year established successful business, you know.
Wow.
So reverse engineering where you get to when you start your brand is important to me. I don't think you just pick it out of thin air and claim it, if it doesn't
Hmm.
make sense with your background. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Is our brand? what how people perceive us, but also what we want to put out there? And what's the
Yeah,
how do you weigh the two?
I think perception is reality. You got to believe it in yourself first. You have to, fully 100% be confident in your brand, your service offerings, your story, and then people will pick up on that and recognize it. So definitely having, a high level of confidence and, you know, not this is what we're trying to do. This is what we'd like to do. Maybe we'll do this. It's no, we already do this.
How important has it been not to quit?
Super important, but you know, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I take it, day by day, mission by mission, project by project, and just continue to take losses. I lost the national beard competition recently that I was super
Really?
excited about, and I was putting it out there and got tons of votes and support and buzz, and I got a lot of love and respect for everybody that participated in it. But I made it top five. It was my first beard
Really?
competition, national. I won $500. The Little Smiles organization won $500. Shout out Steve Grandizio. I got a
Yeah, yeah.
free pair of clippers and just like a new story to tell and a new experience that's going to lead to future beard competitions. But some people would take the loss and quit maybe or just put it down, and you just you got to have fun with it. You can't take the losses so serious that you want to quit. So quitting really is never an option. If I quit, I die. Really, that's my mindset. So that's never really been an option. I'll switch focuses. I'll switch lanes. I'll switch. I'll put things down, but the you know the hustle and the goals are still there.
Hmm. How does one judge a beard?
Well, interestingly enough, like I had the biggest beard out of the top five.
Really?
The guy who won actually has like a short, very short beard, but it was less so a beard competition and more so
So
a
they're
mark.
lengthists.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding. Yeah, culture.
Yeah, so if it was all about length, I would have won, but it was a lot to do with their marketing campaign and also the charities involved. His charity, shout out Rodney Smith Jr. from Alabama, is Raising Men Lawn Care, where kids across the country are given the opportunity to cut 50 lawns for free with their lawnmower, their own equipment, elderly, disabled, single moms, things like that. Show proof that you cut 50 lawns for free and automatically get a free upgrade on all of your equipment and business formation and marketing help. So absolutely amazing organization. I had a great time throughout the campaign and through representing Little Smiles. So there's a lot more to come, and definitely congratulations to Rodney.
How did you well, I'm going to challenge everyone that's listening to go to YouTube and
Mm-hmm.
find our episodes on, our YouTube channel.
Yep.
Um, what was the process preparing for that? I'm selfishly curious about this. Like,
Yeah.
how
It,
long did it take to get to this level? Because it's a fairly impressive beard, by the way, and I've known you
thank
a
you.
long time.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but how long you been working on that?
Probably 8 years. Yeah, I look back like get Facebook memories. It puts me at about 8 years, and I go to the barber a couple of times a month. Shout out Izzy Perales with Blueprint Barber Lounge. Been taking care of me for years. A good friend of mine. So it's fun, and people have encouraged me to enter beard competitions. People recognize my beard all the time. It's a great conversation starter. Like complete strangers, it's a lot of fun. And it was just one afternoon. I Googled beard competitions. I did research. I saw national beard competitions in person all throughout the country. I started putting them on my calendar, and I came across Wall USA, multi-billion-dollar clippers company. They made the first, beard clippers. They're hosting the benevolent beards contest. It was, a free entry. I just had to submit a video and an application. Um, Luckily enough, I got the call back and did the interview processes. And I would encourage everybody out there to challenge yourself and get involved with some of these contests out there, because it really is a fun way to advance yourself, whether you win or not. It's a cool little activity and hobby
I
to
think there's
kind of.
something really deep here, though,
Yeah.
because like a wolf has a like you kind of like you're starting to look like a wolf,
Yeah, yeah, the gray.
like there's something here, like they're
Yeah,
about brand. You're living your I don't know, help me out. Like you're
it's like
living
speaking in,
your
yeah.
And
You
then
just
if you win a contest, you're up there, you're being recognized. There's an association between a wolf and a beard the way
yeah.
that you have it. It's cool as shit. It's like
Thank you.
wolves are cool.
Yeah.
And then the hair aspect to it. Like,
Yeah.
isn't how important is to live our brands?
I think it's super important to, be real, be true to yourself, be authentic, and be open to evolving, not being stuck in where you're at or who you think you are. Let yourself grow because we're not done growing yet.
I think there's also something that makes you unique because I had recently Tim Calise who worked with Hormozy for helped
Mm-hmm.
him he, with Alan and was with him for a couple of years just this
Mm-hmm.
week. He said on another podcast when I was preparing for that interview that something that really makes he's like a walking pattern interrupt. Where like an he was in this the NS he was like basically he's a super sharp dude that is dressed like a lumberjack.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
it's a walking pattern interrupt.
Huh.
And like he's like muscles and the V or the neck it stands out.
Yep.
There's a and something I learned from Brad about how, he's always looking for characters.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I just really think there's something very insightful there to unpack in your example.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
like
we're all
you're the wolf
characters
of
in our
Broad Street. You really are the wolf of Broad Street. You even
yeah.
have the hair like a wolf.
We're all the main characters in our own story in our own movie, so that's a good way to see it and have fun with it. Even characters in video games, if we talk about power moves only, leveling up, think about it that way. Think about business as a sport, competition as a sport, whether it is athletic or not. Um, and yeah, represent yourself, represent your brand, and continue to build upon it.
Do you think, well, mentioned something that was profound, like we're all main characters in the movie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But yet we live our lives like we're not
I
without
don't.
you don't. Well,
I
that's so how
see.
do you help us
I
out here?
could put when I got music on. That's my soundtrack. That's my movie soundtrack. That's my day. That's I'm on a mission, and
Mm,
I'm in character, but it's me.
I
So
love it.
it,
How
it's
do I
it's it's
get
fun.
that? How do I tap into that? I'm the
I,
listener.
yeah,
I wake up.
yeah,
That's the last thing I want to
yeah,
be.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm just reading the tabloids. I'm living through somebody else's
Hmm.
movie.
Yeah,
What's your advice to somebody to tap into their brand, to tap into their
yeah. Look,
wolf?
yeah.
Oh, like come on,
Yeah, I would say look at your daily, weekly calendar and identify, what you got coming up and think about them as little micro goals, little missions. Look at, make a list of the people you need to reply to or reach out to. Those are little micro missions and prioritize these things. Put a dollar sign next to the ones that are income producing
Mhm.
activities. Make those the priority. You know what I mean? And make it a game. How much money can you make? How efficient can you be? How much time can you save? Set a stopwatch on your phone for 5 minutes when you start that task and get it done within that 5 minutes. Put the do not disturb on, protect your peace and achieve these goals. And at the end of the day, you should feel pretty good about it and excited to know that you get to do it all over again tomorrow. On
Mm.
your own terms. I mean, it applies mostly to entrepreneurs and um, small business owners and things like that. In my because that's kind of like my circle. But I would imagine it could apply to anybody. Even if it's a 9 to 5er who has all these errands to run and just make it a game and win. Complete the next
Mm.
level. Yeah.
How important has it been in your career to make introductions?
Super important. That's how I got where I am today with zero budget, no money, just, elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder at different events, building up my contacts in my phone. I just did
Huh.
a presentation yesterday with Cindy Senior with Guild Mortgage where I
Oh, Gil.
present, yep, presented a few, plays out of the Power Moves playbook, Wolf of Broad Street, that I'm working on. Like, just like new speaking engagement opportunities and things like that. But I forget where I was going with that.
Wow. Wait, Power Moves, is that a book? or a
It's not
playbook?
right now. It's just a 28 point outline on a double sided sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper. That's really good speaking points. It's good content. I plan on breaking these up into mini videos and things like that. But what I was saying about the introductions is that is the literally most valuable, greatest gift that you can give somebody, by intentionally taking a few minutes to connect the dots. You don't know where that's going to go, whether it blossoms into a profitable business relationship or that person leads you to another person. Just continuing to build your database, keeping it super simple. Start with the contacts in your phone. I have 6,800 contacts in my phone. I save everybody's number. um, I save the date that I saved the number, and I save who referred them. And when they call me, 5, 6, 7 years down the line, it's like we just spoke yesterday. And auditing your contacts, it takes hours to go through your whole contacts list in your phone, but you'd be surprised what types of gold is in there, for yourself and for them and for the people that you introduce them to. If you ever have downtime or you ever feel like you have a window to be productive, that's a great thing to do, is just audit your circle, audit your contacts, and see who you can help, because it's going to come back for you.
How do you start those conversations?
Um, well, first by listening and finding a need from somebody else, usually, or not even from somebody. Maybe it's just a billboard that I saw, or maybe it was a commercial, or maybe it's something that just like popped into my mind. So being alert, to and open to opportunities to, introduce people is important, because if it's not a priority, it's not going to really get done. But you and I are on the same understanding about, introductions, and
Mm.
it's always on our mind. In our intro leading up to recording, you already had, one or two people you wanted to introduce me to. So it's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and the biggest struggle I'm having right now is how to do all of it. Because like mathematically,
Hmm.
if I have 10 people I want you to meet,
Hmm.
um, and there's 10 people I feel that way about, that's 100
Yep. Yep.
conversations. And it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, how do I accomplish this Herculean task, this passion? And what's you have any tips on what's worked for you in that way? Because I'm struggling, I want to, yeah, I'm struggling. I want to improve in that. Yeah, I like to
I,
do it
I
on the phone, and
yeah.
that's tough.
I do respect that about you. And it's very personalized introduction, and it does take time, but it doesn't always have to be a conversation. We live in a really fast-paced world right now where, having a canned response email template with, plug and play. Hi, this is Jay Duran with Culture Matters. Meet XYZ with this company. I feel this introduction will prove mutually beneficial. Let me know any way I can assist. And that's it. I don't give a whole bio on the person. I don't explain everything that they do. I usually will put their website, here's Jay Duran with Culture Matters. Here's Cindy
Wow.
Seener, Guild Mortgage, happy connecting. Let me know anything I can do. That's it. Let them take it from there. That just by connecting the dots, it's, you'll hear the feedback. They'll thank you for it, and you'll save
Oh, do
yourself time.
people thank you?
Yeah, all the time, all the time. Yep. I mean,
What's that? Yeah, what? Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and sometimes it won't come to fruition, but all we can do is all we can do. So you just continue to, connect those dots, and sometimes, it really blossoms into you finding out something. Maybe you don't get the update. Maybe a year later, you find out that they've, been doing heavy business now, and you don't get a thank you. Maybe it's a thankless business, but from my experience, they are very grateful to you, replying right away, and
What do you tell the people that are afraid to do it? Because like, what if something bad happens?
it's a risk that we take. It's a risk we take. I've made a couple introductions that have backfired, and the person may have went out of business, or went left and just went sideways, and just you know. But taking the accountability for it, doing your best to vet, the person and the introduction. But I wouldn't. It doesn't stop me. It's just things are going to happen. You're going to try to rectify things, and be a resource if anything does blow up. But most of the time, it doesn't.
Hmm. What's your word for 2024?
Um, I think, delegation, is going to be big for me. I got to practice what I preach. All the as much as I'm a list guy and checking boxes, it's things that I could be delegating and focusing on what I like to do. And what I'm learning more about is just being creative and creating content and onboarding clients and selling sponsorships and selling LED billboard trucks and all the fun things that I like to do. Automate, delegate, and regulate has been a consistent, New Year's resolution for me. I feel like I'm good at automating things. A lot of things are already automated. And in order for me to, free up more time and energy for what's most important, I need to delegate more. So
Mm.
I think everybody could, audit their businesses and delegate certain mundane tasks and, you know, stuff to others.
Let's say that I'm listening, I'm bought into you as a person, and I'm saying, okay, I want to strategically partner with Wolf of Broad Street. What am I aiming towards that it would make sense to be a partner, to
Yeah,
invest into Wolf of Broad Street as a partner?
yeah. Most importantly, it's our promotion and representation of our partners in the hyperlocal Philadelphia real estate industry, the greater Philadelphia real estate industry. If you are a loan officer, a title insurance rep, a homeowner's insurance rep, a interior designer, and you're looking to build your brand, build relationships with realtors and different real estate industry professionals. We're here to basically be your extra boots on the ground and your mini marketing department and your promo guy and VIP access to all of our events and other events. It's just really, added support and backing for the right fit of business developer and marketer who wants to align with a Broad Street and likes what we got going on. We're not for everybody, but the folks that see what we're doing tend to stick around and tend to want to get more and more involved, which is reassuring for sure.
Where is the next event? When is it?
So we have a private client event for Anthony Lee with Realty One Group Focus on Friday, November 22nd, which is an open public event. Everybody's welcome to attend at Craft Hall next to Rivers Casino, Philadelphia, in Fishtown. It's their 1 year anniversary celebration for Realty One Group Focus, and we're doing a toy drive. So that'll be a lot of fun. That's Friday, November 22nd at 6 p.m. Um, like I mentioned before, we're bringing on more and more private client gigs, which is great. We're able to leverage all of our experiences and processes from hosting our own Wolf of Broad Street events to make our event clients show up and look like rock stars. Everything's taken care of from
Mm.
A to Z. We've done grand openings. We did a big multifamily millionaires event. And we have a huge event coming up for Wolf of Broad Street in January, on January 23rd. It's our Royal Rendezvous Real Estate Networking Party 2025 at Frame PHL in Old City, which is going to be really good. This is our third year doing the Royal Rendezvous. It's just a great excuse to dress up. We bring out the crowns and the thrones and the red carpets and the media and take over the whole venue. It's a
Really?
it's a good way to start off the year. Yeah,
Man, that must be one hell of a party.
it sure is. Yep, yep.
People
I
talk
mean,
about that.
yeah, it's already buzzing. It'll be sold out soon, and it's great. We're bringing on awesome sponsors. We're selling out VIP tables, and making it a big to do. We like to start the year off with a bang for sure. But a lot of other cool events coming up. Our Philadelphia Real Estate Symposium 2025 in collaboration with Quaid Bank and Pat Lopez, the real estate show with Pat Lopez. We're back at the Mummers Museum February 20th, 2025, with two panels this time. We have, you know, big hopes of getting the mayor's office involved on the first panel, the Turn the Key program, the Land Bank, Greater Philadelphia Association of Realtors, and we'll have a second panel full of expert real estate agents and top producers, and should be really fun. We did it this year. It was a big hit, so we're looking forward to next year's event as well.
What are the elements that really make a terrible party?
Um, if the vibe's not right, it's and you don't feel a wow factor at all when you walk in, or you don't feel a sense of welcoming or direction. That's just automatically going to set a bad taste in people's mouths, which is kind of hard to get back throughout the event. Events go by in a flash. They take weeks or months to plan, but they're over like that. So you want to kind of set the precedent from the jump, even before people show up to the event, just keeping that communication open leading up to the event, building the hype, making them excited about what they're about to see, and then really giving it to them when they get there. And it doesn't have to be the red carpets and flashy lights and everything like that. Just set the vibe. Be intentional when you're setting these events up. Is the person going to walk in and is it going to be pitch quiet with not even a little background music? Is there going to be like nobody to welcome you when you're walking in? These are all things that are going to set you off on the wrong foot.
It seems like the more we can limit awkwardness,
Yeah,
the better, because
yeah.
that would be a precondition to like meeting strangers basically. Is not
Mm-hmm.
is I that creates
It is.
anxiety, meeting
It
strangers.
does.
So we
It
want to
does.
lower anxiety, increase dopamine.
Exactly. And,
I,
and
I,
string.
I'm just like, is that what, yeah,
Yeah,
lower the awkwardness.
yeah. Because like you said, we're all strangers coming into a networking event. Some are introverts, some are extroverts, and you have to be mindful of that and make the people comfortable, when they're walking in. You can't just
And
assume that people are expert or experienced networkers and comfortable. You have to make them comfortable.
then the other thing that it makes it even complicated, I'd love your thoughts on this, is like alcohol. Too
Hmm.
much, too little.
Hmm. Yeah.
If no one's drinking, it's a freaking AA meeting.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And if it, not no offense to that's a
Yeah.
different thing though.
Yeah.
If we're like out of our minds,
Hmm.
then it's, I mean, debauchery. So
Exactly. Yeah.
how do you balance that? What are your thoughts on that? It's just something comes to mind, but
No, it's great because we started out as doing strictly evening events, usually on Thursday nights, 6 to 9 p.m. with an after party after that, and it was really getting into starting to be more of a real estate party than a networking event. We still have those types of events, but we diversify our event offerings by doing things like the symposium or the Bucks County Collaborative or the coffee breaks where we buy out coffee shops for an afternoon of networking. We have to have something for everybody. The drinkers, they still show up to the daytime events and they joke about where's the bar, is the bar open? But we're at that time, it's we're there to learn something. We're there to have a coffee, meet new people, and then there's bar opportunities too. You know, but
yeah, the weekend warriors.
yeah, yep. Get your weekend started on Thursday.
2025, some are concerned, others super euphoric,
Yeah.
enthusiastic, excited
Yep.
about. There
Yep.
was a couple years ago at the NBA, they were saying survive till 25. What's your take on all that?
I like that. Um, yeah, I mean the prospects of the country burning to the ground and there being a civil war feel relatively low right now. Like, but like I said earlier, I take everything day by day, and I'm super optimistic and positive about 2025. I think everything's going to pan out, and I think we're due for a really good wave. It's just been a rough patch for some years now, and I think we're going to have some really good days ahead of us for sure. So I'm
Hmm.
definitely optimistic.
And if there's one thing that you want, so someone that's listening, they are successful. They consider themselves successful. They're thinking, why would I, what's the value of me putting on some shindig, getting my customers together in a room? What's the point? I just need to sell
Right, right, right.
or,
It,
do
yeah,
what I've
it's
always done. What do you think?
yep. continue to do what you've always done, leverage the event to make more sales and bring in new clients and bring in new data. Data is everything. Having the free registration links going out every single day, having email invites going out to your database, having people register. It's a funnel that's only going to help to bring you new clients and new blood, new business. And whether or not they can show up to the event or not, you now at least know they were interested in that event and that they'll likely be interested in the next event or maybe even a coffee meeting in the meantime if it's a really good looking prospective lead for you. So that's what I would say. I mean, who care? I told a group of realtors yesterday that treat your open houses like it's an event. Start an event Facebook page for free, and
Mm.
just invite all of your followers to it. And if they want to support you, they could just say that they're going on Facebook and freak those algorithms out and continue to go all over people's timelines about your seemingly simple open house with the twist, whatever it may be. Maybe it's federal donuts and chicken and coffee and like really, something nice that people will want to stop by and say hi.
If you're listening to this episode, I challenge you to go listen to episode 182, season 16. Very awesome, different conversation.
Yeah.
Josh, what's your Instagram people to follow you?
It's at Wolf of Broad Street. Put an underscore in between each word. Wolf of Broad Street.
Mm. Thanks so much for coming back to the show. Thank you all for listening. Please leave us a review on the Culture Matters podcast, and we will see you next time. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, Jay. Always a pleasure.